Hey guys, so we are in Unit 7, and Unit 7 is talking about careers in agriscience. And agriscience is so broad, we're going to break it down lesson by lesson, careers in different categories. So, lesson 1 is over food, agriscience jobs related to food. So, there are a lot of different careers you could go to, jobs you could do as an agriscientist with food, and they're found all around all the stages of the food production process, from developing the seeds, coming up with new, genetically modified organisms, all the way to how those organisms, how their crops are harvested, new technologies, to packaging and safety. So the first part we'll talk about will be global. So global hunger is really on the rise. So a lot of agri-scientists are tackling this issue because the population in 2050 is expected to be 9.7 billion. And so we're really facing the problem of feeding that population with what we currently have. We cannot do it. That's why agri-scientists are working hard to develop and improve ag techniques to do this. So a lot of agri-scientists do work in the developing world. Know that vocab word. Those are parts of the world with low-income, non-industrial economies looking to improve industry and quality of life. Developing countries, a lot in the South American countries, those that do not have what we have. They don't have a grocery store where they can just expect to have whatever is on their mind at the grocery store at all times. Like us, we're very spoiled here in America. So traditionally, farming has been the profession of many developing nations. They're big in agriculture because they have to. This is a lot of times they're farming for their own food, for their family, not necessarily like factory farms like we have in America. So due to weather and water and different histories, this has become really challenging to even farm as a profession in the developing countries. So an attempt to address this is the Farmer to Farmer program. And so it's got a lot of sponsors, including USAID, which is a federal agency that delivers targeted help to nations in need, and private charities all help. The groups work together to help farmers from industrial regions share their skills and expertise to assist farmers around the globe. So it's farmers helping farmers, just what it is, farmer to farmer program, teaching them new ways. So there's a good picture. It shows Kenyan rice farmers working along the cultivating new frontiers in agriculture to develop practices that benefit the community. So how can they grow more rice? How can they be more efficient? So programs like this provide information and tools so people can use them in their community to get better, to better their community. One example is a program that was implemented in Marsabit County in Kenya to assist pastoralists, which are those who live nomadic or semi-nomadic lives and subsist on their livestock. So that means that they are roaming around. They don't really have a home. They travel with their livestock. So they've been really common in Kenya, and cattle were a standard source of wealth and power. But when European colonists arrived, they discovered the soil was excellent for growing cotton and other in-demand crops, and they pushed those livestock and cattle ranchers and pastoralists off of that fertile land, and they pushed them into the less productive regions, which makes it even more difficult to raise these cattle and themselves. So the Farmer to Farmer sent a team where they met with the community leaders who wanted to learn improved techniques for conserving water, growing more fodder. Fodder is just another term for animal feed for their cattle. So they learned how to support their cattle with the land that they had. After participating in training, women in the community started growing a type of fodder that's highly drought resistant and nutritious for cattle. So they figured that would do well in their area. Soon they were able to sell enough, and they purchased goats and they fattened them up and they sold them at a profit. So they were actually becoming profitable. So that's just one example of the farmer to farmer program, how agri-scientists like to do to help. So it says every country in the world needs these professionals to teach others. So you can go to college and you can learn how to be a professional, um, learn about these techniques. And if you like to travel, a career in agri-science could be a ticket around the world, going and helping these people. This is what you could do. Okay, you could also do something else. So agri-science is really diverse. 1 in 6 people working in agri-science actually work on a farm. So a lot of them are working in labs, technologies, even businesses and buildings. So a lot work in large cities, Washington, D.C. or state capitals, where they're dealing with policy. So you're on the political front of agriculture, fighting for us that way, which is just as important. So a common denominator among agri-scientists is biology. Biology is the study of life. If you're going to do agri-science, you're going to need to study biology because agriculture deals with all things that are alive, plants and animals and humans. So even those who concentrate on the chemical side of biochemistry need to know how bugs or fungi work to efficiently prevent the spread. So the forestry industry, which also falls under agri-science, face issues such as environmental impact of cutting down trees and how various treatments will impact the nature of lumber. Like all plants, tend to change after they're cut. Handling wild animals as game warden or park rangers. That requires an understanding of biology. That's another ag career, is being a game warden or a park ranger. So agri-science requires specialists in virtually every aspect of biology. So it doesn't matter what you do in agri-science, you're going to need some sort of biology background. So taking them in high school and college is going to create a good foundation. So if you want to do that, try to do a biology field. Okay, also technology is becoming more and more popular as we've learned. There's new technological advances coming into agriculture every day. So having a technology base is going to make you even more appetizing as an employee for the job market. So even learning software, computer programming, things like that to analyze data, that's really going to benefit you in the agri-science world. And then, of course, we've got communication. These are going to help you with all jobs. It doesn't matter, just agriculture. But learning how to speak, learning the social sciences, because you're going to be working with other people. These are also very important in agriculture. So going in agri-science requires skills in a lot of areas. Best advice is soak up what you can and just be willing to learn and gain knowledge and help others.